Good evening everybody. Thank you for joining us live on Facebook and Instagram, and this evening we have the wonderful Martin Storey with us, so we will wait for a few more folk to join in.
This is better than the one show tonight.
Forget the one show. Watch Absolutely. Us on Facebook. So we will watch everybody clocking in there. I think Campbell must be on somebody's phone to be logging in. So, perfect. We'll get a few more viewers, so... How are you settling into the lodge?
Oh, I love the lodge, yes. I think I'm going to move in. Yes, you're going to have to prize me out of the lodge. It's absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful,
fantastic.
Beautiful views.
Even despite the weather.
Oh, it's a bit miserable, isn't it?
Well, it's not dissimilar in the south, in the southwest. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's from where I can see. I should have put my specs on, but I think we've got a few folk now joining us and more will come in.
Okay.
Brilliant. And so this evening, very casual, a little less nonsense maybe than usual, and we will guide you through some of Martin's wonderful designs that we have here in the shop. And for those of you joining us tomorrow, you will be able to see and meet Martin and have a chat about all these designs. So we will also ask questions, and I will keep peering at the screen to find out what questions. If you've got anything to ask Martin when you can't come tomorrow, we'd love to see you. And I'm already seeing, oh wait a minute, trying to reconnect, don't worry, internet's a wee bit wobbly.
Questions
already? Yeah. No, I don't think there is, not that I can see, but everybody is watching, so we're all good. And Martin, tell us a wee bit about yourself.
Okay, well obviously I've now been working with Rowan for, well, 30 years plus. In fact, I started out doing some freelance work for them, and then I've been working them as one of their design team for the last 20 years, working from home in Devon, which is fantastic. But prior to that, I worked for a hand knit company based in London called Artwork, which some people might recognise the name, and we did hand knits for the wholesale market. And actually through working with them, I got to collaborate with Rowan on the denim yarn, the denim knit yarn, which is sadly no longer in the range. And that's how I came to join, come to the attention of Rowan. And going back even further, I was at art school in London where I studied fashion with textiles and brought my hand knitting into my degree collection, which led me on to working with a hand knit company based in London. And just as I was talking earlier, I started off as a farmer.
That's right. We're finding out all sorts of things earlier on.
I know. I think we need to see some hats with sheep and things on.
Well, yes, yes, we do. Yes, some farming influenced hand knits.
Yeah, I think we need to get that in. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
No, it was only a brief flirtation with farming, unfortunately. But yes, no, the call of knitting and textiles and fashion was too strong, so I headed to art school, and the rest is history, really. So.
Well, I do have to say, we're very excited with the new.
Yeah, really, really lovely stuff.
Some amazing things. But I love your jumper.
Thank you. This is from Ocean Blue, which was the first brochure that was designed in the Denim Revive. So this is called Oakley, I believe, and it's fantastic. I do love Denim Revive.
But you can also feel that it wouldn't be too, warm. You're not going to suffocate in it. It's just a breathable.
It's perfect for sort of this time of year when it's a bit too warm for woolies, and not too. Maybe you don't want to be sort of wearing lighter weight summer knits. And you can throw this in the. Well, I've thrown it in the washing machine. I probably wouldn't advise that, but it washes beautifully.
Well, do you know what Samantha does with her hand
Here's the confession.
She brings them to me to wash.
Well, I would advise hand washing. I shouldn't have said that. But then it's a recycled denim, so it can take a lot of, it's designed so it's robust. And the denim knit was, you always washed it in the washing machine for it to fade. Yeah. It's similar. It behaves similarly. So, yeah, I'd advise you to have a knit with it. Yes, it's a really lovely yarn.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, there's a few more people all joining in. So any questions, pop them up on the screen and I'll keep having a wee look just to see what is being asked. We're going to start. So we're going to have a wee look at some of the bits and pieces. Oh, this one down onto here.
Yeah, but look
right.
at that.
So we might as well start with what we have in. So, Martin, we have this beautiful knit. Do you want to tell us a wee bit about this one?
Yeah, this is in the creative linen. I'll have to remind myself of the names. I can never remember all the names. This is called Trip, and this is from the Slip Into Summer section of magazine 75. So it's all slip stitching and variations of slip stitch. So it's to really sort of introduce knitters to the wonders of slip stitch creating texture and also creating colour, because it's such an easy way of creating texture and colour work. So this is a diamond where we're slipping with the yarn at the front of the work. You're slipping 2 stitches, so you're creating this bar effect. So you can create all sorts of interesting patterning, and similarly the rib as well.
Oh yeah.
The rib is slipped, so you get this sort of little bar ridge effect. So that you bring the yarn forward to slip the yarn, then take the yarn back to work the next stitch, so you get that gives you effect. So I've brought that as well down into the front band. It's being picked up and then knitted out in the same sort of slip stitch rib effect.
Close up, it looks so
yeah.
lovely,
So what I'll do is I'll just bring that over to just let people see.
Yeah,
so we have that diamond effect that you can see on there. And then you have that lovely slip stitch all along the bottom, and it's all along and down the side there as well. Really beautiful.
Creative linen has that lovely feel of denim revive as well, that sort of cool
But it's
linen.
a gorgeous one, isn't it? Not
Soft
too hot,
linen,
just
yes.
a beautiful cardigan.
Linen, often linen yarn can be a bit stringy, but this is really soft and lovely.
Gorgeous.
And again, it washes beautifully as well. It's a really gorgeous yarn to work with.
Now, I know the team are already clocked on here, and I can tell that they know that I'm going to make a mess of the place for tomorrow morning, so they're going to have to tidy up. So let's move on now. This.
Now
oh,
I
my
had
goodness.
this one. I
Here we
love
yes,
this.
just very simple little cardigan. This one is called Atacama, and this is in the Summerlight DK. So there's a couple of versions of this. There's a sleeveless sort of like waistcoat version, so it's basically without the little short sleeves, and it's got I believe the waistcoat has got a
But
two
you're
colour.
knitting the band at the same time?
Yes, you're working the band in. Yeah, that's something that we're doing a lot more now, trying
And again, beautiful.
and then just fully fashioned up to create the V. So and it's slightly twisted, this rib as well, just to give it a bit more body. So you're not having to pick up the bands and work them after you've finished
That would
your
appeal
knitting.
to me.
Yeah.
Now, there was just a wee question. Just let me quickly look. If you add pockets, would you pattern them in? I think that's on the last cardie. That's probably that one. If you pattern them in,
Yes, you would pattern them in. Yes, you'd create the pocket lining, then pick it up as create the opening of the pocket would be a nice way of doing it.
And this is in Summerlight, isn't it?
It's in the lovely Summerlight, yes, in this
the
gorgeous
DK.
green.
And it's the only, I do have to say, and people will agree with this, it's probably the only cotton we sell well here. We don't often sell.
I think it's down to the spinning.
Yes,
it's
it's
soft.
It's 100% cotton, but yet it doesn't feel the way a cold cotton feels.
What we call an Egyptian cotton, so it's a really nice quality
But
yarn.
the colours,
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And similarly, these 4-ply, the colour range in that is really lovely. And this is a really nice, easy summer shape. It's sort of not cropped, but not too cropped.
And you get loads of use out of just throwing that one on.
Yes. And I think, I don't know what the yarn usage on this is, but I think that it takes 7 balls.
Yeah.
So it's quite a nice, economical little knit as well.
really nice though.
So, that's from the Rain Shadow, which is actually a brochure that it's not actually in the main magazine, it's a separate brochure.
Grand.
Yeah.
So
this is
on
a
to the next one.
mode. This is from Rowan 4 Projects Denim Textures in the Denim Revive, again in the sort of lovely greeny grey colour. So this looks like
I really like this colour.
Yes, it's called Grige,
Very versatile.
and
Yeah.
this size 32 to 34 inches takes 11 balls, and that's just in a really nice open work stitch, yarn over open work stitch. A very nice easy shape as well. So that's from the Mode team, design team, who are making
The mode books are actually good because you get several little projects in
yes,
there, 4 projects, and it's really nice.
Yeah, and
Really
they're
lovely.
all aimed at sort of classic but stylish, not too difficult.
But I do
in
think that's
terms
a
of
lovely colour because it could go with so many things.
Yeah.
Pink.
Yes,
Yeah.
and having the open work
Yeah.
stitch
Now,
as well.
just to say, because I think this is look. Oh,
Yeah, that's
let's hand over that. So that's the
So this is the waistcoat, little sleeveless version of the little green cardigan I just showed you, and this has got a contrast coloured band. This takes 6 balls, so it's Atacama, a sleeveless version. So again, it's got the lovely twisted rib bands that are worked in.
As I
with
say, I
it.
was wearing the other one yesterday, and I do have to say it's lovely feel.
Yes, it
Gorgeous.
drapes. It's got
Yeah.
a very nice drape. It has, I think that's one of the. I use it a lot for. We all use it a lot for children's designs. It's
Right,
perfect because
right,
it
yeah.
washes well.
Yeah, yeah.
And children seem to like cotton more than wool. So this again is from the Rain Shadow brochure in the Summerlight DK. This is Namib with a where you're creating this sort of open ridge stitch with a sort of sort of garter and rib in between. So this is quite one of these styles with sort of very narrow sleeves but quite wide in the body.
But I actually think they look nicer on.
Yeah, they do.
They look much
they do
nicer
look
on.
really nice on. They
Yeah,
look a bit
yeah.
sort of like they look a bit generous when you see them, but
Yeah.
actually they're very flattering on. And
Don't you worry, we'll be wearing them tomorrow, anybody who's coming.
Yeah. Yes, and so that's in the. What did I say? That was in the Summerlight DK.
Yeah.
In that lovely lilac colour, and that's quite an easy stitch to work. Oh, so we've got a piece here in the new Cotton Revive. So this is a recycled cotton, and this is from a separate brochure. This design, this sort of kimono jackets design, is called Grace. Only takes 4 balls, would you believe? So the
I think that's pretty fabulous.
the
isn't
yardage
it?
on that. So
Feels really nice.
it does, yes.
Yeah.
So it's got the big sort of wider kimono sleeve, so it's more of a loose, loose sort of fitting shape. And again, the bands are all worked in with the
Well,
the main
again,
body.
that's quite nice. I think having the loose cardigans without any buttons and
Yes,
so on,
yeah,
and just
just an
having
edge to
having
edge.
that edge
Yeah.
on just makes a
Yeah.
whole load of difference.
It's got a
But I
really
love
nice
that.
sort of crisp
Yeah,
feel to it. It's very
Yeah.
different to the feel of Summerlight. It's got
Yeah.
more of a crisp texture to it, and that's just in a simple squares where you work, working lines of garter stitch and creating that.
yeah.
effect.
And that was done in denim.
This is the
Cotton
new
Revive.
Cotton
But you could
Revive.
do it. You could do it in denim revive.
You
yeah?
could,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. I think you could. I can't quite remember what the tension and needle size on this, but I think it's compatible
Yeah.
with Denim Revive and probably Summerlight DK as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
If you wanted it in the DK. So again, that's from a separate brochure from the Cotton Revive brochure.
and we're now on to I'm just picking these up. This is part of
This is Mode. I
Mode,
think,
yeah, the spring summer 24. Now,
recognise.
stunning.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm
So-
afraid the colour wouldn't last 2 minutes in my
No.
house, but it is beautiful.
So this
And
is
And I'm
That's
seeing
really
one or
beautiful.
two members of the audience there who I definitely know have got dogs and things. So
yeah.
maybe
So
maybe
white wouldn't be the
maybe
best colour.
don't bother with the
probably.
white, but it's certainly a gorgeous pattern.
So this is one of my designs from Mode 10 tier in the Summerlight. This is in the Summerlight 4-ply.
Yeah.
So it's got this lovely lace,
But soft.
leaf lace border and cuffs.
It's absolutely beautiful. And if you're coming in tomorrow, come in definitely.
It's a belted cardigan shape, and there is there's a scarf in the same pattern.
Right.
In this sort of elongated leaf stitch, which again is a very simple. It looks complicated, but it's very simple to work with the yarn over and you're creating by decreasing stitches in the middle to create the stem of the leaf.
It's absolutely beautiful.
It is lovely. Yeah, it looks nice when it's worn.
And there's a good selection of colours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, we've got a really nice range of colours in the summer-like full ply. So that's a mode piece.
Fantastic. Now we are going to just get a couple of other bits because we've got your favourite piece here, and it's all of ours as well.
Yeah, we
So
love
I will
this.
I'll just take this off rather than moving cameras. So we love a mixture of yarns when it comes to knitting. Here we go.
Yes, this is one of
This
my
is one of
favourite
the
yarn combinations.
Exquisite.
Yes.
So
this is from the Botanic Garden Storey in magazine 75. This is called Caladium, and this is knitted with one end of the fine lace and one end of the kid silk
I
haze.
can't even begin to tell
And
you
it
what this
creates
feels
such
like.
a wonderful fabric.
Oh.
So the story for Botanic Garden was sort of leaf motifs and botanic imagery. So this has sort of got a lace leaf, my interpretation of a leaf, like a acanthus leaf.
We were just talking about how when you add kid silk haze to something else, in this case fine lace or the felted tweed, it suddenly becomes the most luxurious garment, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I love this
And I
combination.
love that colour.
Yeah, gorgeous colours. I think that's in the jelly of the kid silk haze and the lovely lime of the fine lace.
and the pattern on this to knit,
The
straightforward.
It is, yes. I mean, for a lace knitter, yes, it's probably for a beginner lace knitter a little more complicated, but it's not so complicated. I think the actual pattern repeat is only like 8 rows or something.
Right. Okay.
So once you've memorised that, it'd be quite. It's not a huge repeat, and also you notice it's two lace designs repeated across. And then it's just raglan short sleeve, very flattering. There's a nice cardigan as well with the fine lace.
Have you got the book there? Because that was
And
just
Kid Silk
stunning.
Haze, a nice classic round neck cardigan, but with a bit more texture.
Yeah.
It's got sort of, I think it's got bobbles and a bit of cabling in it, but it's that's been very, very popular as well, and this particularly has been.
And as you well know, there's every combination, isn't there, of kid silk haze to
There
knit
is.
every colour known to man.
There's
and it's
80,
beautiful.
is there some?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I remember having to sort it all out in the system. It's really something. The combinations would be absolutely
Endless. Yes.
stunning when you're mixing it all together. So really lovely.
And it's even though you've got the two ends of different yarns, it's a lovely yarns to knit with. I think because it's the fine lace is very, very fine to knit with, but in combination with kid silk haze, it just
beautiful.
really lifts it.
So,
There's this cardigan.
Yes, it is that
I
one.
absolutely love that.
Yeah, that's.
And hopefully you can see it. Isn't that gorgeous?
Green combination.
yeah, I'll take that one up
Very
just to sort of
spring
show
one.
the pattern for those that couldn't see, just quite so close up. It's absolutely gorgeous. Really lovely. Perfect. Okay, now next up, I always love a wee felted tweed kid silk haze
so
mix.
this is from our designer brochure, which all accessories. So all the design team we all had to come. It's actually a 5-ball project. That was the sort of premise of this. So you.
I love it.
It's a block that's repeated the whole length of the scarf until you basically run out of yarn. So there's squares of kid silk haze and squares of felted tweed in the lovely greens and the blues. So this is squares that when you've created your first square, you pick up for your second, and so on. So there's no joining or anything. You actually
good.
It's very. Once you've got the hang of actually doing it, it's a very simple process. So you're creating the squares by decreasing through. You can see there's a decrease line slanting through the middle of the squares. That's how you're creating sort of the square, like like origami almost. And then you just leave one stitch on the holder and pick up and carry on, and then it's the same process for the whole of the scarf.
Lovely.
The effect is amazing.
And you get actually for 5 balls you get a really long, lovely long scarf that you can wrap around a few times.
So let people just see the different blends there through on the yarn that you're getting. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and the endless combinations for that as well.
This was creative linen, wasn't it?
Creative linen, yes. It's another.
This is another one of Martin's design, and this is done in creative linen, and it's just so gorgeous. You could imagine that in any combination of colours as well. I do have to say though, there's a lot of people who don't like wool next to their skin.
Yes.
And I think that using the Denim Revive, the Summer Light, all of these ones are just lovely. What a difference it makes.
It does. Yes. Those particular yarns you just mentioned do serve us very well for design and for spring, summer particularly. So geometric homewares. We've got a piece from this as well in hand knit cotton.
Doesn't come any brighter than this.
I know. Yeah. Well, that was the brief for bright geometric patterns in homeware. So we've done a collection of cushions, throws, and what else? What else we've got in that brochure? Some other homeware projects as well. So this is my throw in the hand knit cotton in the really strong juicy colours, the orange and the yellow and the green and the pink. Some of these are actually new colours, I believe, that have just been introduced in the last couple of seasons, but there's lots more. There's some nice cotton glacé pieces as well within that brochure, which you'll see.
I just love this. I think it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and again, this is it's a small repeat. This is something we're trying to do with colour work, stranded colour work, is create something effective, but isn't you're not having to think that the next repeat changes. So they all repeat over a certain number of rows and certain number of stitches. Yeah. So it's an easy thing to remember without having the headache of changing, having to think, oh, this is a different pattern over different number of stitches each time. The chart works really, it's just a small chart, and I think that works really well for knitters. So that's something that I've been kind of trying to work on recently, and make everything knittable.
But I think these ones, that last patchwork scarf and this, appeal to our customer because a lot of them are knitters and patchworkers. Yes. And these kind of designs really
they fit
appeal.
Into that category, don't they? Yes, particularly
gorgeous.
The patchwork scarf. Yes.
So when you're given a brief, is it quite a loose brief? Do you get to go
no,
all out or quite?
Well, they're loose in such that it's up to your interpretation, but there is a sort of core idea.
Okay.
So this was Georgia Farrell's brief. Actually, she briefed out the geometric. I briefed the slip into summer.
Okay.
So because I wanted to have a whole story focused on slip stitching, because it's such a great and easy way of creating texture and colour work, because you're not having to strand yarn and when you're just creating basically texture by slipping something, you're not having to make a bobble or a cable or a lace stitch or anything quite as complex as that. So it's a really effective way. So people who maybe aren't familiar with slip stitching, this is quite a nice little introduction. So there's easy and more complicated pieces within that. But after that, it's up to the designer to come up with whatever they feel works for that story, and then we look at everything and all our design submissions and decide, yes, that'll work. Maybe that might not so much, and create a sort of a whole story from that.
Okay. And how long does all that process take for you?
We were designing the designs for this particular magazine, Magazine 75, were done January 2023.
Right.
So a year, over a year ahead. So now we're designing Magazine 77.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Now, I did ask Martin about this one. Anybody who's knitted baubles.
Yes, and so this is another slip stitch design, a more complex one, but the texture and the bobbling is all created by slip stitching. And the bobble, people don't like the, because you're having to work backwards, turning your work and to create the bobble. But in this, you don't have to do that. You're sort of creating so many stitches and then passing them over each other to create the bobble. Okay. And it's a really nice way, because often that way of doing bobbles often can look a bit loose and untidy, but this particular one, I think you have to knit through the back of them, so it creates a really nice tight firm
Very
bobble.
nice.
Okay.
But you're only using 2 colours per row there. You're not having to think about it's you can see it's sort of grey, the colours are graded, so you've got a dark blue and a pale blue, so when you're knitting the pale blue you're slipping the dark blue, and vice versa.
Okay. It's very beautiful. It's very effective.
Show us tomorrow. Because I know that doing baubles is perhaps not the favourite thing, and I know one particular customer who's watching tonight who knitted the blanket, and then she repeated it because her sister liked it so much, but I think she was bobbled out.
No baubles. Okay. But it's very effective. It's very beautiful the way that colour work has gone through that.
Oh, fabulous.
And I can only imagine that it's much nicer in the flesh than it is actually in the book with a lot of these things. So.
Yes.
I mean, I'm loving this arboretum jumper.
Yes.
Because again, it's a nice plain jumper, so you'd wear it forever. There you go.
So that's sort of really stranded colour work stroke intarsia motif, but it's just on the side of the sweater, so it's quite nice of having a bit of colour work without it being all over, just some
I think it looks really
work.
nice on the side there.
Yes, I've seen some nice colour combinations in that on social media. People have been knitting, so
Fantastic. Okay. Well, I think, because this is a wee taster of this evening to follow what's coming tomorrow, when you come in store to see us all tomorrow. Lunch will be served if you're looking to book in, so please do. And Martin will be about from 10 until 2. And the idea is for you all to come in, have a wee chat with Martin, find out more about his designs and the inspiration of where all this has kind of come from. And the garments are just beautiful.
So we will have the garments for a wee while.
Yes, we do. we do.
So we can, if you can't come tomorrow, then, just give us a call and come in and see, and we'll talk you through everything.
We will do. And also just to say that in store tomorrow, we will have a discount on all your Rowan yarns for everybody that's coming in and making their projects. So that's... what will be happening tomorrow. There's the surprise, Shirley. So that's what we were doing, and thank you so much for joining us on a Friday evening, on a bit of a dreich night. Martin, thank you so much for coming to do this.
Well,
and we'll look forward to a day tomorrow.
We will look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Okay. Grand. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Bye.